Friends. How are you today? So I have my green on for spring. If you're watching this when I actually sent it out on that day, it's also St. Patrick's Day. So happy St. Patrick's Day if you're watching this on March 17th. But I can't believe that we are already zooming into the first quarter of the new year. And one thing that has been coming up in lots of coaching conversations that I'm having with my clients is time management and motivation, and the lack thereof, rather. If you need some time management tools, I put them right below. So then that way, excuse me, there's a great cheat sheet that will help you in terms of prioritization and arrangement of tasks if that's not something that you naturally gravitate to. It's not something that I naturally gravitate to either. So there are some tips and tricks that I learned along the way. Back in the 1990s when I came out of school and I had my first career job, not college job, I had lots of those, but first career job, I took an assessment. Now, Lord knows what that was back then, but it was some assessment that basically stated you were unorganized and you procrastinate. And there's some truth to that as a hard wiring aspect of things, but I'm also extremely competitive. When I took the Clifton Strengths Assessment many years later, it showed up. I don't execute. I have a tendency not to want to perform, not to want to produce. I procrastinate as far as that's concerned. However, through my career, I do have high competition. I never wanted to be known for that. I did not want that to be part of my legacy. So one thing that I did was I set up all these kind of tactical things that I do to get myself, I don't know what this frog is. There is something called eat the frog, right? We're going to talk about that in just a second, but there's this frog in my throat too. Anyway, so, it's setting up those things. I learned how to calendar block, and no one taught me how to do that. I just naturally calendar blocked when I was in my 20s in terms of finding that right day of time of day of week to do those tasks that I naturally was more productive at doing. I really kind of thought about, all right, if I need to write and I need to concentrate, I am not really productive at doing that at the end of the day. So I'm going to get in the office around 5:30, 6 o'clock, and I'm going to do all of those heavy processing, heavy thinking, heavy creative things really early in the morning. So then that way I can enjoy the rest of my day. That's the eat the frog concept. The eat the frog concept is do the hardest thing at the beginning of the day, and then you get to enjoy your day. I did it I did it that way, but I also did it based upon how my brain works. I was in college and I would have a really good night's sleep, wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and cram as much into my brain as I possibly could. There's procrastination, right? But through the years, it's figuring out those tips and tricks, those tools that actually helps you to get organized. But the thing is also there's a motivation piece of it. And when I coach my clients, it's that understanding that will Dawn, 3 week older Dawn, it feel like doing this task any more than this Dawn that sits here in my chair today? Quite honestly, 3 week older Dawn, April Dawn will be very thankful of me for doing whatever it was that I am dreading doing today. Whether it's your taxes, whether it's some big task you have to do for a client, whether it's some organizational tool you need to do internally in your house, cleaning your closet for the spring, all the stuff. Just do it. Rip the Band-Aid and really pay attention to, are you giving too much weight, weight, in the waiting, wait? The weight in the waiting actually adds to the dread of doing something. Or if you think about it, is this task isn't positive or negative. I just got to get it done. And maybe if I put too much weight on it, I will dread it even more. So I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to be happy that I did it ultimately. So that's what gets me to be able to motivate myself to be able to do those things that I don't necessarily like to do. And then I reward myself with some good time off. Don't forget to do that also. You high achievers out there that have lots of responsibility. Hey, if you have any questions about this or any tips and tricks, if I can say that. This was a hard one, by the way, if you pay attention. I don't usually trip up this much, but we made it to the other side, and I will see you soon. Take good care.